Welcome to Faith in Sports. Hello, I'm your host, Rick Bowles, and my co-host is James Carnell.
Yo, what's up?
Our producer is James Bridges.
I
AKA,
thought you were just going to continue on there.
Howdy,
man.
howdy.
I'm sorry, my bad.
I mean, you know, how many times have you done this show?
I know, but a lot of times you don't give me a spot, so
Yeah.
I just sat back on that one, and there you go.
So our spat already begins.
Haven't even started the show yet.
Faith in Sports will be highlighting coaches, student athletes, and all things SAGU athletics. SAGU is a Christian university located in the heart of Waxahachie, Texas. We are happy for one of our own alumni sponsoring this program. VCR Now is a technology organization, and they can help you with your LED, audio, video, lighting needs, whether it's at a sports stadium, arena, house of worship, or even your business. Well, Mr. Carnell, I know you were on a birthday vacation during Masters,
Yes.
so did you take the time to watch any of it at all?
I did. You know, I came home in the evenings from our busy day in the parks and enjoying Disney. Had a great time. I was watching some of it. It was fun. Actually where we stayed was right on a really nice TPC golf course there in Orlando, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what does that have to do with the Masters?
It made me want to go play, so I turned on the game. I turned and watched it.
Did you see the trees fall?
No, actually, I
Did you
didn't
know
see
the
that part.
trees fall?
I heard some stories, but I didn't. Yeah,
It was quite amazing. I'm like
I did.
We
miss
got three and nobody got hurt.
nobody.
Yeah.
Now I've seen different views of it, because everybody has cell phones, but there was one guy that got really close to just losing his legs. I mean,
Wow.
he was laying down right close to the trees from my view. So
Did you see the lady in the stroller?
Mm-mm.
That was the closest call.
Was it?
In my
Wow.
opinion, that scared me.
man, that's crazy.
That is nuts.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
someone said they planted those trees, they
Just for
they
the
weren't
event.
really no roots were really there. They just put them in there just for the Masters spell.
Wow.
We know that's not true.
Yeah.
I thought it was great myself having some of the live players in the tournament.
Yeah.
I was not wanting them to win just because I love PGA, but
You're an old school guy.
as much as Phil Mickelson is controversial somewhat,
Yeah.
that was kind of cool
Old
that he
lefty.
came in third place, I believe
Yeah,
it was.
I said what I watched was good, and I said it's interesting to see that all come into play. I think it's kind of fun. I don't mind I think the LIV and PGA. I think it's a good thing. I'm all for spicing it up a little bit. I think it's kind of gotten a little stale over the years, and
Hey, I mean,
So it's kinda cool.
I think for the younger guys, it's a little bit more of a gamble, but for guys like Mickelson, those Koepka, I mean, they've won so much money in so many
Oh, yeah.
tournaments. If you're going to get, I think Mickelson got $15 million just to
play.
just to be there.
I mean, it's
right,
a
be part
no-brainer
of it.
for
So,
financially.
Yeah. So, how long will it last? I don't know. At some
we'll see.
point, they've got to start making money.
It's kind of like USFL,
Yeah.
so it goes bankrupt. Write it, right?
Right. And the guys that are in the PGA, they're already increasing the overall purse
Yes.
because of that.
Competition.
So, competition.
Yeah, I like it.
Grows a lot of
I'm all
stuff.
for that. Yeah.
I thought I didn't see it live, but I saw a video of Tiger Woods and his foot. I mean, he could barely get around towards the end of the round. And, so it didn't look good at all. So it didn't surprise me that he dropped out in the fourth.
Yeah,
round four.
As I said, I kind of read more than I actually watched because I was too busy enjoying myself.
Sure
on
you
vacation.
were. Sure you were.
It was my birthday yesterday, by
yeah.
the way.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
We're happy that you've turned 60. I mean,
Hey,
you look great.
watch it.
You look great
Watch
for 60.
Watch it.
Well, now we
Quite
got
there.
to depress you a little bit. Talk about your St. Louis Cardinals. I mean, they're
Dude.
kind of
Yeah.
What are they? 2-4?
Nah, yeah, 3 and 4.
3 and 4?
No,
Oh,
3 and 5.
Okay.
3 and 6.
Yeah. So either way,
Something like that.
Either way, they're below 500, right?
They are below.
Yeah.
They're bottom in the Central. So
Yeah.
it's horrible.
Yeah.
Of course, as a St. Louis fan, you're coaching from the sidelines, and
So, what advice, if you were the manager? I mean, what advice would you say to the players?
actually, the bats are going to be there. I think that's going to be. It comes down to our pitching has just got to be better. Got to keep them in games, and it's just not been there. Starting pitching is just not doing its job.
Well, we know it's a long
So,
season, so
it is.
they've got plenty of time to get their act together.
You know, and the hitting and the bright spot is Jordan Walker, you know, the rookie sensation that's he is tied with 2 other players in MLB history for having a start to his season or his MLB career with 9 games with an at-bat base hit.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he's amazing, and I think he's second youngest to have ever done that as well. So
That's
he's
cool.
Yeah, so it's a bright spot for the Cardinals. They just need to get the rest of the game act together.
Well, I'm sure they'll be there.
I blame it on WBC.
Yeah.
World Baseball. They just didn't have a chance to gel. We had 17 players
Yeah.
play in the WBC.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah, it's going to take them a little time to get back.
Yeah.
All right, so give us a little update on some of our games, how they went last week with baseball and softball.
Sure, yeah. The baseball team may have a rough spell as well. They've lost the last 5 games, including 3 games in Oklahoma City to Oklahoma City University, 1 on Friday and 2 on Saturday. But overall, the baseball team has been doing well. The women dropped all 4 games this past week to Oklahoma Panhandle State University. That's a mouthful. So, it's not the best weekend. We were more focused on the more important spiritual matters of the weekend, I think.
Could be.
That's my excuse. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is my excuse.
Yeah. Well, we're excited about a few games coming up this week. In fact, tomorrow we will be hosting Wiley College here at noon. Then on Friday at 3 p.m. they host, we're talking about the baseball team, host Mid-America Christian University. Doubleheader on Saturday starting at noon. And the women will host a doubleheader on Friday and Saturday against Langston, and that will be taking place at the Waxahachie Sports Complex. Come on out and watch some good baseball.
Where can I go to find out more information, Rick?
Well, you can go to SAGUlions.com. And it's all things SAGU. And interesting enough, our guest today is a part of that, SAGUlions.com. And
tell me more.
Yes, I will. So tonight, our guest is Darian Davis. Welcome, Darian.
Welcome, Darian.
How you guys doing? I'm happy to be here.
Yeah,
good to have you.
Good to have you. He is the Sports Information Director, otherwise known as the SID here at SAGU. So before you were a student and on the SAGU Lions basketball team, we'll get into that. So before you were playing here, let's find out about how you got here. You graduated from Lakeview Centennial High School in Garland. So what sports did you play besides basketball, if any?
So I dabbled in a little bit of everything. So I played some baseball. I played some football. I mean, even taekwondo. But it got to a point, you get older. You get on those older teams. You need a little more prior knowledge. There's some things that those coaches don't have time to teach you. And I got a quick thing. In middle school, I'm running out there with my pads. I mean, never played any real football on a team before. And I'm ready to go. Coach stopped me. He said, "Hey, wait a second. Where you going, Davis?" I said, I'm going to go play some football. I'm ready to go. He was like, "Hey, you're a water boy. I'll see you basketball season." So, he made that transition for me pretty simple.
That's nice.
So what are you, 6'6", 6'7"?
6'7" and a half.
So in middle school, did you have your height, or was that a process?
That's a funny thing. My freshman year of high school, I was 5'11". That next year, my sophomore year, I came back 6'6".
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, one crazy summer.
Oh, my goodness.
Everyone's like, how'd you do it? It was the milk. I was heavy on the cereal.
What was your favorite cereal? Come on.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Cinnamon
Still
Toast
to this
Crunch.
day.
Uh-huh.
Still to this day.
I like that
That's
too.
good.
Well, was basketball what you dreamed of playing in college, or is it just happen, or did you say, hey, I want to play in college with basketball as my favorite sport?
I mean, well, other than that coach giving me that push, I always did have that extra love for basketball. Like being around that team environment, it was just for me. But my plans, as far as college, I was like every guy, who's playing now. I wanted to go to the NBA.
Sure.
I'm going to go play professional. National Basketball Association. I'm watching Kobe and LeBron. And I want to be like them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I always knew that I wanted to get excuse me. I always knew that I wanted to get my degree. So my thing was I'm going to be the first NBA player to start, and then I'm going to go back and go to school just to do it. But I never truly had a plan of how I wanted to execute, but I did know I had those goals.
Yeah.
Well, tell us a little bit about highlights from your playing days at Lakeview Centennial. Anything particular pop up in your mind as a highlight of a game, or just something individually?
Some things I could think about is the from middle school all the way to high school, even when I got to here to college, I was on some really, really good teams, and I was around some really good players. A guy that I played with at Lakeview, Zaire Smith, he went on to be a first-round draft pick in the NBA. So,
Wow.
I mean, we had some impressive dudes, and then not only to go along with the amazing players that we had really, really good coaches.
Wow.
So, I mean, I was always around some special groups.
Well, I went back and watched some of your highlights in high school. You dunked it a few times.
Oh, yeah, I was a skinny guy, but I used to get all over the rim.
So you had a pretty good career. And tell us just about your family life. What was life growing up in Garland for you?
Well, for me, I was with my two younger brothers. I'm the oldest. And then, I mean, I was raised by two dynamic, incredible women, my mom, Lisa, and my grandma, Guma. So, I mean, they were, absolutely incredible, always there for me, like just no matter what, everything that I needed. And then growing up in Garland, I kind of joke about it. I call it Gyrac. The Garland, I'm like right on the Rowlett edge. So I'm just around, I would say that area is just so diverse. There's so many personalities that even outside of sports, I had so many different people around me breathing into me. So it was like I always had a nice balance.
Yeah. Oh, sweet. You know, I just want to throw this out there. I don't know if you played basketball at all in high school.
You know, I
Did
quick
you?
story because
Okay, I knew
you know
I
this
knew you
isn't
had
about
one.
me, but you know this
But
is
I
a
knew you
quick
had one.
story,
Yeah.
Darian. I actually wrestled.
Yeah.
I started to say wrestled,
Wrestled.
but I wrestled, not the fake kind.
Wrestling's in Texas. Wrestling is in Oklahoma.
There you go. there you go.
WWF, baby. Come
And
on.
great
Back in
story.
the day.
So I have a little bit of claustrophobia problem. So if
Yeah.
someone was starting to pin me and I couldn't move, I'd freak out and I'd just pin myself. Well, my older brother was a really good wrestler. And so happened that I determined in my sophomore year that I was going to be on the team, no matter what. So I worked hard, and tryouts came, and my brother came to watch me. And I was doing great, impressing myself even, and the guy got me pinned down, and I just started kind of freaking out a little bit. And I relaxed, pinned me. My brother got up in front of everybody, walked out, and I got up, followed him out, and I said, "How dare you?"
Wow.
And I never came back, went straight to basketball.
Straight to basketball.
Yep.
And then you.
And I played
Played
one
basketball.
year.
Wow.
I got to play a little bit.
Yeah.
But I was 5'10"
Yeah.
at that time.
Wow.
Yeah, I should have got some cereal and milk.
I'm
I'm telling you, I wish I'd have known that secret.
2% milk wasn't helping me at all.
5'7" over here, you know, with those platform shoes that we wore back in the 70s. That was me. Hey, I could dunk though, like nobody's business.
Yeah,
You give me some oatmeal cookies and some milk, man, I could dunk all day long. I could. I'm telling you, you could probably slip a piece of paper underneath me when I jumped. I mean, that's-
JB wasn't ready for that one.
No, well, I'm afraid because they reprogrammed the board.
Oh,
I don't want
okay.
to. I don't want to push the button and be.
You don't know what sound effect's going to come out.
No.
All right, back
so
to Darian.
let's go back to you. Sorry, we had a little digress there just a bit. So talk about. So when did you know you were good in basketball? You're like, hey, I can do this.
That's funny. So I would say, like when I don't want to say I was feeling myself, but
Mm-hmm.
my senior year of high school, and I talk about those coaches. Like I had a really good coach, Coach Mike Sill, and I had Coach Locke, Coach Hughes. All those coaches, they really breathed life into me, always saying the right thing to me, keeping me motivated. And you get to that point where I guess as a senior, I was an older guy, and the game really started to slow down. It was like, wow, I really know what's about to happen next. And I was ahead of it. Like my mind was like, it felt so sharp. And then also being able to put in extra time, those coaches, like I know I would eat my lunch real quick during the school day and go to the gym, and he would be there to shoot, just some free throws with me and just stay in the gym. And that's when I knew, I was like, yeah, this is something I can do for a little while.
Yeah,
That's
sweet.
good.
And it's always great when you have great coaches. So SAGU, let's talk about that. What brought you here to play basketball? How are you recruited? Who recruited you, and how are you
That
recruited?
is a really cool story, actually. So this is actually the first time I'm telling this story because I kind of keep it a secret.
Oh,
So,
yeah?
All right, everybody.
Okay.
The secret's about to be broken.
It's an SAGU exclusive right
yes.
here.
So like I said, I knew I wanted to go to college and things like that, but I didn't have like a mapped out plan of how I wanted to do it. So I had an AAU coach, and my roommate was Darian Sims, who played here, and he was like, hey, Darian just signed to SAGU. I think you need to check it out. So around this time, when we're doing tryouts, I went to the tryout, and back then the head coach was Donnie Boswick.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried out, and I'll throw some names out here so anyone who knows some basketball history. I'm trying out on my team that day is Key Watkins, Isaac Rowe, Josh Swearingen, some guys. I'll just say they are high volume shooters. So, the tryouts, I'm not really getting the opportunity that I would say, to showcase what I can do, but just a casual tryout, right? Then the end of the tryout comes, and Coach Boswick is making his rounds, and he's kind of like, sending me on my way. And my mother, this is
Lisa.
funny. Yes, she's like, wait a second.
Oh, come on now.
My son? No way. And they get into this. There's a pretty, I would say, I don't want to call them stubborn, but it's two stubborn people arguing about my basketball skills. So he brought me back. He was like, okay, come on another day. A much better tryout the next time. Then he's still watching me. He's going to one of my AAU games. Now, this is where it kind of gets crazy because this is going to tie back into some of the later stuff. He's at that tryout, right? And Coach Deal tells me this story. He's sitting with who is our coach now, Coach Deal. And he asked Coach Deal, so I'm thinking about recruiting this kid, man. What do you think? And Coach Deal tells Coach Boswick, hey, man, if you don't take him, I'll take him. So it was like having Coach Deal tell that story to me and then him being the coach the next year, the sophomore year, it's like, wow, like, these things are lined up. They didn't happen for no reason. So that was it's a cool story, and I kind of keep it a secret because it's like, man, my mom had to come and protect me. But
you know what though? I mean, that's a great mom.
No,
right?
Yeah, she's an advocate.
Don't be ashamed of that at all.
That's awesome.
Now, if she punched him in the face, that'd been different.
Now, that would have probably been a better story. No, just kidding. So let's talk about your faith journey, right? So tell us about your faith story. What happened? What impact and has being a follower of Christ made on your life?
I mean, that's another story, like just one of those things where I could say these things are not happening for no reason. I would say when I got to SAGU, I was supposed to be here, 100%. SAGU stretched me, and like it took me out of, I wouldn't even say from casual Christianity, like it really, really brought me closer to God. And this is like really how. So I talk about that high school coach, Coach Mike So.
Right.
Now, mind you, he's all the way working at Lakeview Centennial, which is in Garland. That's 40 to 50 minutes away from here. I'm new guy on campus, a freshman, and he gives me this call. He's like, hey, I'm in the city, because he's at Midlothian, right? So that's where he lives. And I'm like, wait a second, Coach, you live in Midlothian, but you work all the way out here? So that's already a crazy thing enough. So he's already in the city. He's like, yeah, so I know you said you were looking for a place to go to church because, like I said, I'm away from home. Just got to find a new church home. Yeah. He says, hey, I'll be there soon. I'm going to come pick you up. We're going to go to Stonegate. So Coach Misa comes, picks me up. And I'm telling you, like, this is my high school coach. Now, all the way, like, right down the street from me at my new college. So in high school, we had this ball, right, a team ball. And in the beginning of the season, he had us all write a word on it, right? The word that I wrote was purpose. I knew that I wanted to do purposeful work. I didn't have a mapped out plan, right? I'm just figuring out, but I knew I wanted to do something purposeful. I wanted my work to have meaning. Yeah. Coach Mike Sell takes me to Stonegate that day, and the word that they're speaking on, they're all in Romans, right? And the pastor is really big, and this has become my favorite Bible verse since, Romans 8:28. And we know that all things work together for the good of those who love God, to those who are called according to his purpose. So I hear that, and I'm like, wow, like, this is insane. All these things are lining up, and I know this is not for no reason. Yeah. So just being in that situation, it let me know that was one of those things, like, as a freshman, you kind of get those jitters. It let me know I'm where I'm supposed to be. Here. Right here at SAGU, this is where I'm supposed to be, where I can do that purposeful work. You don't see those things for no reason. Yeah.
Well, that's a shout out to high school basketball coaches, baseball, football, whatever sport you're coaching. I did a lot of coaching in high school and all through with my kids, and you can make an impact in students' lives in a way that a lot of people never can.
Because, like, when I say, like, I had really good coaches, I'm not even talking about the X's and O's. I mean, like, they did stuff outside of basketball. Yeah. And, like, still to this day, like, I tell them, like, he saved my life. He's the reason I'm here with you guys right now that I'm coaching. So this does things, like, outside of the game that really meant something to me.
Well, that's fantastic. And, it's interesting. A lot of people have, different spiritual levels when they get to a Christian university like SAGU. And it's nice to know that you don't come here and go, hey, I know everything already, right? but you get to experience some classes that push you a little deeper in the Word. You get to hang around people who aren't athletes through dorm devotions and chapels and things like that. So that's a great story. So tell us a little bit about your time here between 2017 and 21. I mean, we've had some really good seasons, especially 20 through 22. So just what stands out to you? Because like I said, there was some, during COVID, we went pretty far, and then things just stopped, right? A couple things that are highlights for you.
So most definitely, the first thing I would say is I was spoiled, super spoiled to be able to play here because we won a lot of games, and we won a lot of important games. So I think about that first year when Coach Deal came in. So we kind of got, I don't want to call us we were the, Coach Boswick took the proven guys with him, right? Mm-hmm. So he goes to Oklahoma Wesleyan and takes some of those guys, and Coach Deal is left with the young pups. Mm-hmm. And that first year, I mean, we just go out there and we do the thing. We go out there, we're balling, and we win the conference championship. We go to the national championship game, and it's us, the young pups. Like, we were, I know, I'm pretty sure you guys are more familiar with the story. David and Goliath. So he comes in, and David, that's like he's showing all these guys, hey, this is who I need to go against Goliath. And then he goes all the way to the end, like, okay, I guess David. Like, David was the 8th. He was the 8th option, right? Yeah. And that's kind of what we were. We were those 8s. So for Coach Deal to come in and do that with us, that was really special. Then I think about my senior season here. That was right before COVID hits. So, I mean, it's my senior year. I'm just trying to, I guess you could say, live it up. But I did something that a lot of people cannot say they did. I won my last college game. So the conference championship, we win that game against John Brown. We're celebrating. We're cutting the nets down. And now we're prepping for the national tournament. Then, boom, COVID hit. So season's over. We're going into lockdown. So that was a crazy experience. And then I think about the next season. Now I'm on the coaching side. We're coming back from COVID, right? So it was just so much uncertainty. And, like, that team that year, we were barely practicing. Like, I mean, there were so many things happening, so many obstacles in the way. And we got to the point where, I mean, we're still just going out there. And, I mean, Coach Deal preaches this, and I really believe this is why we're doing so well. Don't worry about anything but just enjoying the moment, pure joy, pure joy. And that team went all the way to the Final Four. Right. And I'm telling you, we probably practiced, it felt like 4 times the whole season. Wow. So it's
So you're saying less
things.
Practice, Meek?
Well, there's I came here about 4 years, a little over 4 years ago, and I saw some of the advantages of how the campus responds to a winning season going. So it's really nice. You're always going to have those years, those sports that don't do as well. But we got some great coaches here, and that's the cool thing about SAGU. Well, we're going to take a little break and to talk about our sponsor, and then we've got a couple more questions and talk a little bit about your Sports Information Director position and some highlights. JB, take it away.
Driven by producing quality LED video boards and state-of-the-art video and audio production systems at affordable prices, VCR Now makes sure to listen to your needs as an athletic department, business, or church before recommending the next best steps. VCR is so proud to promote their brand on this podcast. Come by the campus and visit the Schaefer Activity Center and check out the double-sided LED scoreboard provided by VCR Now. For more information, visit vcrnow.com.
Thanks, GB.
Me stumbling over my words rubbed off on you.
I was just wanting to make you feel better.
Thank you.
So, Darian, you've been very busy since taking over as the SID. So, what's a couple of the highlights that come to mind, maybe from various different sports? You do a lot of the press releases, the news stories, so you've got it right there in your head. So, tell us a couple of things that are important to you from what you've seen so far.
Well, this whole year, actually, I'll go back from when I first started. I mean, we're starting off, it's like, soccer and football. I would say I have been so, basketball. When I really started to look at the other sports, like, it used to be I go to the other sports. I'm going to the football game at Lumpkins, not really to watch the football game, but to socialize and have a good time. Now that I'm really paying attention, I'm starting to notice how amazing the other sports are. So I could talk about soccer, right? My thing was I was one of those people, I'm like, oh, it's low scoring. I associated that with being boring. Those soccer games, men and women, were incredible. Yeah. So, like, going to those, Then I talk about going to the football games. Now I'm actually paying attention, watching, right? That guy, Dudek,
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
he is a machine.
Good,
So,
yes.
I mean, he led the every level in rushing yards. So, I mean, just watching him, like, it didn't matter what situation he was in, he was going to find a way to make something happen. So that was incredible.
And looking at him without the pads on, you go.
And
running back?
that's the funny
Running
thing
back?
because I'm like, okay, I feel like I could tackle the guy, but I know I go out there, he'll probably hit me with a move. But
Yeah.
then I talk about, I mean, we know what the volleyball team did this season. Was it 33-2, and those losses came in the national championship. So, and I talk about like I mean, my favorite athlete on campus. I'm sorry for the other athletes. I know I'm not supposed to have favorites, but Emma Tompkins.
Yeah.
She's now working as the assistant to the athletic department. So that's one of the hardest working persons that I've ever met.
And that's a tough job. It's
Oh,
Yes,
busy.
she is. We talk about busy. I say her and Coach Godding,
Yeah.
probably the busiest people in the world. But she swept the season awards. So she's MVP of the season, MVP of the tournament. She is incredible. So the stuff that she was doing, I'm super excited to see her for next season and what they do. And I mean, shoot, we'll take that 33-2 and change it to 35-0 and win the
That'd be great.
championship.
That would be cool.
Then
Yeah.
on the basketball side, I know we had an All-American. So Cortland Blake, he has a cool story too because he was here my freshman year, 2020. He played on the team. He left. It was one of those things. He had to find his way, and he found his way back to SAGU. And, I mean, you left as a guy who he was barely playing, and now he comes back superstar All-American doing his thing. So super proud of him. And then, I mean, most recently we talk about the baseball team. I mean, yeah, they had a little struggle, but I'm telling you, Michael Watson, watching him
Yeah,
in
man.
person,
Yeah.
Impressive.
I used to think, like I said, I dabbled in some sports, right? And I used to be a pitcher. What Michael is doing, he is incredible. So 15 strikeouts versus Central Christian. I know he had a no-hitter. So, I mean, all these remarkable moments. My thing is, in this position, someone has to be able to tell these stories. Someone has to be able to promote these athletes. So,
Yeah.
That's
Well,
good. Good job.
You're doing a great job.
Yep.
I'm just telling you, we produce a newsletter from the alumni office and also through the school itself, and we utilize a lot of the articles that you guys produce in the sports information department to let our alumni know, hey, this is what the school is doing. And you wouldn't believe the amount of comments we are getting that center around the sports aspects from our alumni. I mean, they love all the other aspects too, but it's always a sense of pride, I guess, that back in the day when a lot of us were in school, there wasn't a whole lot of opportunity for success in sports. Most of them were club sports, but to see the success we were having is very, very impressive. So, awesome, man. That's great. So, how's the basketball team going to end up? Not only this year, but next year. We're losing a lot of players, but what do you think?
So, yeah, we're losing some really important seniors to what we have going on because I'm not just talking about on the court. We're losing some really important locker room guys. And for us, that culture is super, super important. So bringing in the right people who can play and be a part of what we're doing outside of the court, just to join our family. I don't even say join our team, really join our family.
Yeah. Awesome.
Well, we look forward to it. And, Darian, thank you for spending a few minutes with us.
Appreciate you guys having me.
All right.
All right. Thanks for coming. Faith in Sports is a broadcast property of SAGU. It's a Christian university located in Waxahachie, Texas, and has over 70 undergraduate and graduate degrees, including on-campus and online options. Faith in Sports is sponsored by VCRNow.com. Visit sagu.edu for more information. Also, stay up to date with all things SAGU athletics at sagulions.com.